Hello and welcome to this Functional Skills ICT Level 1 tutorial. What we're going to be doing today is working through the Sample 1 mock exam, which you can find on the City and Guilds website. And for this video in particular, we're going to be working through the start of the exam up until completion of task 5. So what that will include is firstly getting set up and ready for your exam. Using search engines such as Google or Bing, for example. They've got their own little practice search engine on the actual exam. Then from using the information that's found, you've got to then select a relevant website to visit. You then have to sort of copy and paste some information into an evidence document, and then we move on to emails. There's an email section, and then we move on to spreadsheets, which is where we'll be finishing off. Okay, so to start off with, we're on the introduction page. So you work with the manager in a seaside cafe called the Snack Shack. She has prepared some menus for the new season and wants you to create a new price list to put on the tables. She wants to find out which of the products made the most money during the year. Before you start, create a folder to save your work and all of the files you were given. Download the screenshot evidence document provided. Save it in your new folder, and when you've done this, click Next. So first of all, just on the main desktop of your computer, if you just right click, go down to New, and then Folder, and then select that, and as you can see, a new folder has been created on your desktop. So for this, we'll just call it Level 1 Sample 1 Mock. Okay, so then we've got our little file, and we're going to be using this, and this is what we'll upload at the end of the mock exam itself. Okay, so the next thing it wants us to do then is to download the screenshot evidence document provided. Save it in your new folder. When you've done this, click Next. So what you'd have to do is just click on the green paperclip, and it'll come up at the bottom here to save or open the file. What you need to do is click on this little arrow, and then click on Save As that's appeared. And then that'll just give you the opportunity to properly find what you want to be looking for. So for this one, Level 1 mock exam, automatically came up with the downloads folder on the left hand side. You just need to select desktop, because that's where we've saved the folder, and then it should appear in there. So what we'll just call this one is evidence document, or screenshot evidence document, as that's what it's called in the actual exam document. And then we can save it, press save, and then that's saved into your folder. So you can open it. I do already have one open, which is this one. So this is what it looks like. So you'll see on here it just says task 4 and task 7 for screenshots. So that's the only place we're going to be needing, those are the only questions we're going to need this document for. So task 4 and task 7. All the other tasks, if they need any evidence, they'll have their own separate evidence documents, or it'll be the actual files that you're using for those. So we don't really need this for now, so I'll just minimize that and get rid of it. We'll close that as well. So yeah, as it's saying on here, it's not actually telling you to do anything with that document yet. It's just telling you just to download it and set your file up. So we'll move on to question 1 then. So question 1 is a search engine. So as I say, Google, etc. So you need to find a lunch menu from a different cafe to get some ideas. Enter your search words in the box below. When you've done this, click Next. So with this, it's just a case of typing in something that you think would be relevant to what you're going to be searching for. So you could put, for example, cafe lunch menu, and that should get the relevant criteria or websites that you're after. So if we just click Next, and that's task 1. Quite easy. And then it comes up with this one. It says this search has provided a list of results based on the information shown. Select the most useful. So we're looking for cafe lunch menus. So top one, cafe map. Find your cafes in your area. We're not after a map. Buy in a cafe. Get the professional help you need. So that's obviously going to be advice about how to buy your own cafe and start up your business. And we know we don't want that one. School menus, UK. Obviously that's for school menus, not cafes. Cafe in Dorset, eat in style. Weymouth's best cafe overlooking the sea. See our breakfast and lunch menu, bursting with fresh new tastes. So possibly that one. And then coffee news, everything you need to know about coffee. So that one's going to be a news thing about coffee. So there's only one that's suitable, which is cafe in Dorset. So just click in the box there to select that one, and that's all we need to do for that. Okay, so this brings us on to task 3. So the search is giving you a menu from another cafe. Download the file to view the web page. Paste the lunch items and prices only into your evidence document provided. So there is a separate evidence document for task 3. If you remember, the one we've already downloaded was for task 4 and 7. So this one's purely for task 3. So what we need to do is just download these files. So for the evidence document, click on that. Do the same again. Click on the arrow and then save as. And then it should already find your level 1 mock file straight away. So it should always automatically be in there. What we're going to want to do though is to create a file within that level 1 mock folder that you've already done, and we're going to have that one specifically for task 3. So if we go, so you can do it just from this window, just right click, go in new, so you don't need to go back onto your desktop and into your folder. You can do it directly from this save as window. So we'll just call that one task 3 and double click into there, and then we're in the task 3 folder. So we're just going to call this one task 3 evidence document, and we'll save that. Okay, so we've saved that. Then there's the file that we need to download, which is for the web page. So if you just click on that, and you'll see that's just opened it up in a another browser window. So it's still in your actual Internet Explorer or Chrome or whatever it is you're using. In this example, we're using Microsoft Edge, is the replacement for Windows Explorer, I suppose. So anyway, it's brought up this menu. All you need to do with this is just right click and then save as, and as you'll see, it's come up automatically with your task 3 folder. So we'll just call this one web page. To be honest, we probably don't even need to download this. You can do it, what we're going to need to do straight from there, but it's always best to just download it, I think, just to be safe. Okay, so we've already downloaded the evidence document, so you'll just find that I've already opened it up on mine previously. So it's just this one. And once you've gone into your folder, double clicked onto it, it'll open up a new document that you downloaded. But just for purposes of an example, you just go back onto your desktop, double click into your folder, go into task 3, and then double click on your evidence document and it'll open it up. Okay, so what does it want us to do? It wants us to paste the lunch menu, items and prices only. So we look back on the web page, there's something called the snipping tool, which we'll have a look at, which would be what we want to use here. So what the snipping tool does is it basically copies a section that you've selected of whatever's on the screen. So in this example, we can select anything from on here, and it sort of copies it, and you can paste it into your document. It just saves you doing a screen print and then cropping the picture. Don't know if you know how to do that, but it's just, I find it a bit easier, a bit quicker to just use a snipping tool. So what it wants then is this launch menu, all of this information basically. So if we go down, it's moving into sides and drinks and everything else, which we don't want, and obviously we don't want breakfast either, so just those bits. So to find your snipping tool, in your left hand corner, bottom left corner of your screen, you'll have your little Windows button for your start menu. Just click on there and start typing in snip, and you'll see a snipping tool has come up. So it's searched for your snipping tool. Just click on that. It opens this little item here. So what you want to do is press new for new snip. As you can see, the screen's kind of gone pale. If you, let's say we move the cursor to here, hold the left mouse button down, you can then drag to select what you want. If you release it, as you can see, it's just cut that section that we needed. Okay, so from there what we need to do is to just copy and paste that into the evidence document. So just right click, select copy, and then on your evidence document you can just paste that into there. So right click again, press paste, and there you go, it's there. What you need to do now then is to just save that, and let's have a look at the actual question again. So you can delete that web page, don't need that. So we've pasted it in, then it just needs you to upload the evidence document. So what you need to do, you've already saved it, just close the document down, and it's really important that you do this after you've saved it, because what you need to do now is upload. Now if you click on that blue button, a window will pop up. You won't get this warning message. This is just because it's a mock exam, but in your proper exam, a window would pop up. You just click on, there's an upload button, and then it'll ask you to, well, you'll be able to find your file basically. So once you've found your file, just double click on it and it should upload for you. Now the reason why I said you have to save it and then close it is because if the file's still open once you've tried uploading it, it won't upload it properly. It'll just upload like a blank copy of it, which obviously we don't want to do. So it's important that you remember that for every time that you do the upload, you've got to close everything down and save it. So we've done that, we've uploaded the evidence document at this point, so we now move on to task 4. So task 4 is all around using an email system, which certainly nowadays everyone's quite familiar with emails, but there's things like address books that we don't necessarily use on a day-to-day basis, so you might be unfamiliar with that. So let's have a read of the task. So you've received an email with the subject supplier. Open the email and follow the instructions. When you've completed the email, click send. So we'll do that to start off with. So where it says email on this pretend computer screen, just double click on there and it brings up your emails. You'll see there's a couple on here, which is the one we need there, supplier. So double click onto there. So our supplier has sent through his contact details. Please can you add orders at snackchat.co.uk to the address book and reply to me when you've done this. So what we need to do is just hold your left mouse button down and highlight all of that, because you can copy that. So just right click and then select copy, and then what you need to do is to go into contact details, so address book, sorry. So click on the address book. I've already done it earlier. Here's one I did earlier in true Blue Peter style, but we'll do it again. So add contact, so the name, manager at Snackchat. You can delete that, just put his name as supplier. Then he's put anything in for phone number, email. You can paste the email address that we just copied from the email that we received into there. Web address, we'll leave that blank. There's no website for them unless you just put snacksupplies.co.uk in. I think you can leave it blank. And then job, just put supplier again. Then company, Snack Supplies. So we know that's the company name because that's what's in the web address, the email address there. You could put the web address in if you want. So snacksupplies.co.uk. There's their website. Phone number, you just leave that blank. So once you've done that, just press OK, and it's come up as the bottom one. So there we go. So if we just press on OK, I'll close that down. We just need to send him a reply. So just click on reply at the top there and just put hi. I can confirm that these details have been added to the address book. With the name supplier. Many thanks. Then just press send at the top there. It says your email's been sent, so you can close that. And let's have a look what it wanted us to do. So once you've completed the email and open the completed email and paste a screenshot of this into the screenshot evidence document downloaded at the beginning of the test. So that'd be the evidence document that I've already mentioned that says task 3 and task 7. Sorry, task 4 and task 7. So we're going to be using that one now. So I've already got it open, which is here. So task 4. So paste a screenshot of the completed email. So if we go back in, click on send items, and you'll see they're in there. One of those I did earlier as well. I'm going to assume current one will be the top one, which is his. So double click on that and it'll open it up again. So just press your print screen button that's on the keyboard, and you should then be able to paste it into the document. Now some keyboards have you have to hold a function button down and then press print screen, but with mine it's just the print screen button. So you just find your document, right click, then paste it into there, and as you can see that's in there now. Okay, so what was the next bit? Select the completed address book contact and click edit. Paste a screenshot into the screenshot summary evidence. Save the screenshot evidence document, you'll need it later, but when you've done this just click next. Okay, so go into address book, find the supplier, click on edit. As you can see it's all on there. This is actually the one I did the first time around. We'll do the second one. Yeah. Again, press print screen or function and print screen, and then go back into your evidence document and just paste that into there. And then you just click on save, and that's it, job done. So if you go back onto your exam, go on to click next, and it'll bring up task 5. So task 5 is going to be the final part of this part 1 tutorial of the exam. This one's quite a hefty one to go through. It's actually about spreadsheets, so there's quite a lot of stuff on this one. As you can see, it's worth 13 marks, which I think is the highest scoring task on the whole mock exam. So the manager needs you to edit the sales data, so download the file. So we'll do that to start off with. So click on download, and same as before, click on the little arrow and click on save as that pops up. Find your folder, so in the side menu it should be on there. If it's not, click on desktop and you'll find it in there. You can click into. So we need to create a new folder again, so just right click, go to new, and then select folder, and then call this one task 5. That's what we're on. Double click into that one, and then you can just save this, rename it as sales data, then press save. Okay, so then you can just open that up. So once your spreadsheet's open, this is just what you'll get basically. Now, what does the question say we have to do? So use a formula to show the total sales value of each product range for the year. As you can see, column N, we've got here in the table, row 3, it says total sales value. And this is a list of all the products and how much they've sold, or how much money they've made each month for each individual product. So from January all the way to December. So what we need to do is basically add all of those up for breakfasts, and have it in there. So for the formulas, there's a specific one we need to use for this one, which is the sum formula. So the sum formula is used for any mathematical sort of calculation, basic math if you like, really. So whether it's adding, minusing, dividing or multiplying, you would use the sum function. So what we do is just click on this FX button at the top there. It says insert function. You'll see there it says sum. So easy way to remember that you need sum is basically, if you're doing a calculation, what do we call calculations? We call them sums. So that's what you're going to use. So just double click on there, and you'll see there it says B5 colon M5. So the colon stands for 2 basically. Colon just means 2. So that's saying from cell B5, which is column B, row 5, which you would see is that one, January breakfasts, to M5, which is column M, row 5, which is December's sales for breakfast. So it gives you a list of everything it's going to do, and it gives you a total there. So the total for money they've made on breakfast is £42,000, 406 and 50 pence. So that's adding them all up. Now, as I said, with this, you can use sum for adding, multiplying, dividing, etc. So I'm just going to show you an example. So if we change the colon to a plus, you'll see it's just going to add B5 and M5, which is £2,314.50 and £2,937.25, which will give you the total of £5,251.75. So that's just adding. If you wanted to minus, you could do that. So it's minus in January's taken from December. No, December's from January. Gives you minus 602. So you can use dividing, which obviously there's no divide symbol on a keyboard, so you have to use /, and again it will just divide the 2. And then for times, rather than just using an X for times, it actually uses the star, or the asterisk as it's called, which you can do by holding your shift button and pressing the number 8. So what that's done is it's times them both together and give you this really large number. So obviously we don't want to do that. So we just put the colon back in. It's just going to add them all up. So once you're happy with it, just press OK. And as you can see, it's added it into there, what the total is, and it tells you what the formula is up in the top bar, this formula bar. So it's sum B5 to M5. So I wouldn't expect you to just type these out manually. Always use that little FX button. It makes life a hell of a lot easier. So once you've got that, you want to replicate that and do the same for every single row of the table. Now, you can do it again, like we've just done. It's a bit time consuming to do it for every single row, especially as you might have in your actual exam, you might have twice as much data. So a quick way of doing it, it's the little black box on the bottom right corner of the selected cell. Just double click on that. And there you go. It's done it all for you. So as you can see, row 1, which is the one we did, B5 to M5. If you go down, sorry, row 5, not row 1. Next one down for burgers, it's saying B6 to M6. Hot food is B7 to M7, and so on and so on. So it's just copied it basically and done it for you, just so you don't have to keep going in and doing it. Okay, so let's have a look at the rest of the question. So it wants it to be in ascending order of sales value. So that's highest to lowest. So we'll look at that later. We won't do it just yet. Make the product with the lowest value stand out. Create a chart to show the values for each product. And then make sure your work is clear, easy to read, and formatted correctly. So we're actually going to do that bit first. I think once you've put your the information in that you need to, it's better to then tidy it all up and do the rest after that. So we shall do that now. Now we want to get all of this information into a table. So I don't think we need this row 4. As you can see, there's no information in it. So if you click on the 4 at the side, that's going to highlight that whole row. You then right click and press on delete. I'll get rid of it for you. I'm going to do the same for row 2 as well. So same again, click onto it, highlight it all, and then press right click and delete, and that's just got rid of that for you. Now we're going to put this into a table, but what I want to do first is sort the title out basically. So what I want is the title to be in the middle here, nicely centered. So what I've done is I've highlighted all of those cells, and what I want to do is press this merge and center button. So what that's going to do is it's going to, rather than having so many individual cells, it's just going to merge them all into to make it one big cell basically. So if you just click on merge and center, as you can see, it's centered the title as well. So that's now one big cell, and it's got your title in the middle. So next thing we want to do is to put all of this information into a table. Now you can do it manually by designing it yourself, but I'm going to tell you a quick way basically. So once you've highlighted everything, all the data you want, so from product range in column cell A2 down to cell N9, which is the total sales value for ice creams. Once you've selected all of that, you'll see here it says format as table. You click on that, it gives you a list of different themes, I suppose, that you can have for the table itself. I think I'm going to go for the blue one, or I might go for the green one. Yeah, let's go for green. Always do blue, so let's go for green. So if I click on that, a little option will come up. It says format as table. All you need to do is just select OK, because you've already selected what you want to be in the table. So just press OK, and it's turned it into a little table for you, like so. Okay, so as you can see, it's added some borders to the cells, very fine borders. It's added sort of headings, it changed the headings, it's added some colour to make the title, the writings bold, and it's added these little filters in. So that's basically so you can select what data you want to show. But you can also sort the data out. So if you wanted it in alphabetical order, you could do it like that, but as we've already discussed, we want it in ascending order from total sales value. So if you click on total sales values for filter, so it's largest to smallest is ascending, descending is smallest to largest. So just do that, and as you can see now, it's put it in order. So it's going from 42,000 to 28, 28, 27, 22, all the way down to 6,000, which is ice creams. So they don't sell many ice creams in outside of the summer months, which is understandable. Anyway, in terms of actually making it nice and tidy, as you can see from the headings, product range, it's actually saying product rank at the minute. That's because the E has been covered with the filter. So we just need to change that slightly, which you do just by where the line is between A and B. You'll see the cursor changes. So once that's got on there, you can hold down, and then you can move the size of that. So if you wanted it to be that big, you could do it that big. but we don't want it big. That's just silly. So put it down to there, and then you'll see the same again with total sales value. The E's been chopped off. We'll just make that a little bit bigger, like so. Okay, so it's starting to look decent now. With the heading, I want to do a little bit more with that. Let's tidy that up a bit. Let's make it more of a standout title for the table. So just increasing the size of it, of the writing. So at the top here, where all your fonts are, you've got the A with the up arrow and the little a with the down arrow. So up one makes it bigger, the other one makes it smaller. So just click on that till you've got it to where you want it to be. I think we'll make it bold, italic and underlined, and I think we'll add a bit of colour into it as well, just to make it in line with the rest of the table. So you'll see here there's like a little paint pot with a colour underneath it. Click on the arrow and it brings up this list of colours, and you can select a colour that you want. So we'll try and make it in line with the table best as we can. Oh, there we go, got an exact match there. I think I want an exact match. So we'll go for olive green. So we'll click on that, and as you can see now, we've got a decent title to it as well. There's actually no borders around the title, so what you could do, you see here where your font settings are, there's a border option. Click on the arrow, then go on all borders. Select that, and it's, as you can see, it's just added a very slight black line around the title cell now. So I'm quite happy with how we've got that looking. The next thing we need to do though is, you see the actual money hasn't got the value, the currency to it, so it's just numbers at the minute. We need to change it into pounds. So if you again just highlight all of that data, then you'll see here it says in the middle there's general. You click on that, it brings up a list of things here. So we've got general, we've got number, we've got currency, which is what we're going to use. We've got accounting, short date, long date, time, percentage, which you might need in some different exams, but for this one we just need currency. So click on currency, and it's added the pound signs to it. It might want it in dollars, it might want it in euros. You never know. If it does, just under the drop box where it now says currency, there should be some little coins and then some notes and an arrow there. If you click on the arrow, it just brings up the list. So you can change it to dollars if you want, or you can change it to pounds, which is what we want to do. Don't know why there's a big gap there now though. That's a bit weird. It's gone into accounting mode for some reason. We just need to change it back to currency. Oops. Do it for the whole lot. Go back to currency. As you can see, it's got the pounds in. Right. Okay. So that's all we need to do with that. I'm quite happy with that. It's looking decent, nicely set out. You can read everything properly. So the next part of this then is to create a graph, create a chart to show the total sales value for each product range. So what you need to do is, where it says product range, just click on there and just drag and highlight down to ice creams. And then you need to do the same again for where it says total sales value. The only difference this time is you need to hold down your control button whilst you do it. So click on total sales value and then drag down to the bottom. Now you've got all of that column highlighted with the title, and all of that column highlighted with the title again. Then we need to make the actual chart. So if you go on insert, the insert tab at the top of the screen, then you'll see column. Click on column. You can put it in whatever chart format you want. It's easiest just to do it as the 2D column. And there you go. Chart will appear on your screen. You can drag it around, you can make it bigger if you wanted to, like so. We don't need this total sales key at the side here, so you can delete that. So just select it and then press your delete button. It's got rid of it. What we also need is, you'll see there's no title on the side here for what this actually is, and there's no title along the bottom for what these actually are. So this is your horizontal axis and this is your vertical axis. So if you go on to layout at the top here, say it says chart tools, you've got design, layout and format. What we need is layout. As you can see, you've got axis titles, chart title as well, but we've already got one. So if you go on axis titles, we'll go on horizontal and then put title below axis, and you'll see there it says axis title now underneath there. But what are those? It's the product range, isn't it? So just type in product range, and then do the same again but for the vertical axes. So back on axis titles, vertical axes, and just select one of these. I'm going to go for horizontal title just so it's showing horizontally, and that will be total sales value. Okay, so that's now understanding what that is, and we know it's the total sales value. We know those are the product ranges. So for this little bit at the top, the actual title, you want to explain what the chart actually is. So so it's, at the minute it just says total sales value. What we want is total sales value of each product, because that's what the graph is showing. It's showing the total sales values of each product. And that's pretty much all you need to do for this task. So you can save it at this point. What I want to do though is just add something onto here. So if you click on one of the bars and then right click, and you'll see it says add data labels. Right, so what that's doing is it's actually showing on the chart the exact amounts, because some of these they look very similar in height. So just to make it a bit easier to read, you can add the data labels on, and it just shows you exactly how much it is. So I'm quite happy with that. So if I was to read that report, I'd be able to tell exactly how much we've got in terms of sales from the graph. So what you need to do now then is just save it. And then we'll just have a look at the question. That was everything we've done. We've met all the criteria. So we've done the formula. We've sorted it in terms of highest to lowest. We've not done this one actually. Good job we checked. So always double check before you finish. Make the product with the lowest value stand out. So we'll do that in a second. But we have done the chart and we have made it easy and clear to read. So lowest value, we need to make it stand out. So it's ice creams. So you can highlight all of that if you wanted, or you could just do that particular cell. But you'll see at the top here it's got these little highlighty things. If you click on bad, it will make it red. So you could do it like that for just that one cell for the actual sales value. I prefer to do it for the whole line. I'll just highlight the whole line and then do it like so. Okay, so now we can save it because we know we've done everything. Next thing I want you to do is to upload it. So same as before, close your document down like so, then upload it by pressing the blue button. But that's it for part 1 of the mock exam. So thank you very much for joining us. Hope it's been helpful, and do by all means join us for part 2. The part 2 is going to be around using Microsoft Word, and then it's pretty much just finishing off really in terms of there's a screenshot you have to put in your evidence document. So remember when I said it was for tests 4 and 7, it's just a screenshot you have to do for that, and then there's just a couple of questions to answer, and then it's uploading all your final folder. But that's it for today, so thank you very much.